what is the difference between going to those easy habits versus doing something else? And I said that it comes down to awareness, right? And so for me, my entire process could really be summed up as I was willing to experiment with things. Now, I was fortunate that I found Rob who helped me to shortcut the exercise portion of it, right? I didn't have to experiment in the gym and risk getting injured and all that kind of stuff. But the nutrition side, I actually ended up doing completely on my own.
And then so the moment you got your certifications, that's when you like knocked out the remaining 30.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're doing now, more in detail.
Yeah. So like today, as of this moment, I actually do faith-based health and wellness coaching and I specifically work with men.
Faith based. Okay. And you specifically, can you tell us a little bit more about that? What you mean by all that?
Yeah. So when we talk about faith-based, and I'll actually tell you where this came from was when I got certified, like I said, I had lost about 50 pounds, but I still had about 30 pounds to go. And I remember very vividly walking into gym after gym after gym, applying to be a trainer and just watching people's eyes drift down to my stomach, right? Just like that, just instantaneous. So I just, no, no, we're not going to hire you, right? And I remember even with clients, I started working at a private studio, and I remember like people would come in for consultations, and I would kind of see them like looking me up and down, kind of judging me because I didn't look the part of the traditional trainer. Even by the time I had lost the 80 pounds, like I still had maybe, another 10, 15 pounds I could have lost at that point. But I was okay with where I was, right? I felt good about myself. And I had decided that I didn't want to make the sacrifices necessary to go out and get six pack abs. And so that always kind of stuck with me where this idea of, you know what? I was healthy and I was happy. And I could actually go into the gym and work circles around guys who looked fitter than me. So I knew I was in great shape, but people wanted to judge me based on that. And it was something that always kind of stuck with me. And so I always wanted to kind of go this direction of not just focusing on weight loss, but understanding that true success, even in weight loss, comes from doing other things. And weight loss is a byproduct of making the other changes, right? I didn't set out to say I'm going to lose 80 pounds. I actually naively thought I had like 40 pounds to lose, right? So I was bad with math apparently. But the thing is, even once I got to 40 and I just kept going because the goal was never about the 40 pounds that I wanted to lose. The goal was always about changing my behaviors. It was about changing my habits. And that's what I wanted to help people do. And when I got back into the church, because I was actually out of the church for about 30 years. And when I got back into the church, actually, when we moved to our current house back in 2015, it was kind of this shift that started to happen for me where I realized there was this alignment, right? If you read the Bible and you read what God says for us, the way we're supposed to handle stress and anxiety, the way we're supposed to care for our bodies and all that kind of stuff, it's not about the aesthetics. It's not about hitting a number or reaching anybody else's, standard. It's about treating your body as a temple. It's about respecting this gift that you've been given of a body, being able to respect the fact that this body's made to move and wanting to have that body function and giving yourself grace, not beating yourself up because you ate a cookie, right? Like, and all those things I started to notice there's this alignment between my Christian values and the way I view health and wellness. And a lot of that came from, again, having those judgmental eyes on me early in my career that shifted my perspective.
So fascinating how those things that happen to us early in our lives, those stressors, those things that kind of might like even from the outside forces, like outside people, like they can start to shift us and like and create that, be able to create that change within us to like do something different. And it's so fascinating that you mentioned alignment. Yeah, that's here at the with what I do, we're huge on alignment.
Yeah.
And so I love that you say that. Kind of going back, I'm curious, like I'll ask this question really quickly and then I want to get into like more of the faith base and what you're sharing.
Yep.
And so you were saying that initially that you were saying that your goal was it was about the number, but then you realized it wasn't about the number. It was about the actual. It was about the habits at that point, was it?
So for me, it was never really about the number. I just kind of like came up with a number
Hmm.
of what I thought I needed, but it was never about the number. Like I never sat down and said, okay, I need to eat this way to lose 40 pounds. It was, okay, I need to improve my eating. I know that means taking in fewer calories. What do I need to do? Okay, you know what? I need to start to exercise. And then it started becoming about little things like, you know what? I'm tired of my back hurting or I'm tired of my hips hurting. Let me get some of this weight off so that that's better. And I think for me, it was the thing that got me through those plateaus because I actually hit 6 different weight loss plateaus in those 6 months or in those 10 months. And the thing I think that kept me going through those was because it was never about the number. If I had made it about the number, I would have felt like I was failing and I would have given up. But because it was always about the behaviors, as long as I kept showing up, I hadn't failed.